Hello, today I'll be covering multiplication and division of integers. To start off, we're just going to identify some patterns with these 10 multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 0 times 4 is 0. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 0 times negative 4 is 0. Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. So if you notice the pattern here, a positive times a positive gave us a positive. A negative times a positive is a negative. A positive times a negative is a negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So what that tells you is if they have the same sign and you multiply them, you get a positive answer. If they have opposite signs and you multiply them, you get a negative answer. So let's just move on to example 1, multiply. Negative 4 times 7. So with multiplication, you just multiply the numbers out. So 4 times 7 is 28. Since it's opposite signs, negative. B, negative 5 times negative 6. Well, 5 times 6 is 30. Because they have the same sign, it's a positive answer. 4 times 11 is 44. They're both positive, so it's a positive answer. Now D, negative 12 times 9 times 0. Since there's a 0 in there and it's all multiplication, it doesn't matter what you get, your answer will be 0. So 0 makes our life easy. Now with E, negative 2 times 3 times 4. You go left to right. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6 because they have opposite signs, it's negative. And then negative 6 times 4 is, well, 6 times 4 is 24. They have opposite signs, so it's negative 24. You do the same thing for F. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 because they had opposite signs. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8 because two negatives make a positive. And 8 times 5 is 40. Now on to part G. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 2, same sign, so positive 16. 16 times negative 3. Well, I'm going to do 16 times 3 over here. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 40. They have opposite signs, so it's negative 48. So the last three, E, F, and G, gives us these rule. If there's an even number of negative signs, the answer is going to be positive. If there's an odd number of negative signs, the answer is going to be negative. So here, one negative sign, 1 is odd, so our answer was negative. Here, 1, 2 negative signs, 2 is positive, so our answer was positive. 1, 2, 3 negative signs, 3 is odd, so our answer was negative. Now example 2 is just to show you evaluation with exponents. Well, 4 squared, as always, is 16. Now negative 4 squared is negative 4 times negative 4, which, because they're both negative, that gives us a positive, again, 16. Now what this says is negative 4 squared, which is 4 times 4. It doesn't say negative 4 squared, like the whole negative 4 squared. It says negative times just the 4 squared without the parentheses. So negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. So be careful when you have exponents. If the negative is on the inside, then yes, you do multiply it. If there are no parentheses or the negative is on the outside, then no, you do not multiply it over and over again with the exponent. Now with division, the same rules for multiplication apply to division because division is just the opposite of multiplication. So same sign, positive answer, different signs, negative answer. So 80 divided by 8. Well, 80 divided by 8 is 10 because they're both positive. My answer is positive. Negative 72 divided by 9 is 8. Since negative and a positive, my answer is negative. Negative 49 divided by negative 7 is 7. And since they're both negative or both have the same sign, my answer is positive. Now D and E are just throwing 0 in there again. So 0 divided by 13 is, well, anything. 0 divided by anything is just 0. Now E, 6 divided by 0. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. Cannot forget this rule. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. Now example 4. Evaluate x divided by y if x is 56 and y is negative 8. So the first thing I do is just substitute x and y in. So 56 divided by 8 is 7. Positive, negative, so opposite signs, so my answer is negative. So 56 divided by negative 8 equals negative 7. And that is multiplication and division of integers. Do not forget, same sign positive, opposite signs negative. Have a good night.